How to handle hate speech spread on the internet? This was the question discussed at the international conference Tackling Hate Speech, Living Together Online. The event was held in the European Youth Centre in Budapest. The 2 days conference gathered a number of politicians, NGOs, activists and young journalists. The conference was preceded by a training on hate speech for popular young bloggers. One of them was Nicole Currie from the European Roma Rights Centre in Hungary. She presented the conclusions and recommendations of the workshop Action and Campaigning Against Hate Speech.
We came up with 7 clear recommendations and conclusions that we wanted to present to the Council of Europe on what we think needs to be done. It's not about teaching children, but showing them what they already know, that racism is invented. It's not normal and it's not natural. We're all humans first and everything comes next. So it's important because children and young adults are multipliers, so we need to have real discussions in schools with youth groups about human rights principles and about equality. There's 3 aspects to training. Firstly, you need essential further training and development of youth work online so that we can understand how to have an effective impact online, how we can access communities, engage with different people, and also to really understand our online responsibility. So we are responsible for the content that we are putting online. Secondly, we need campaign toolkits in national context so that we can learn about hate speech, what it is, what differences and similarities are across Europe and how we can address it. And thirdly, we need ethical training for journalists. So young media activists, giving them training and advice on reporting hate speech, how to prevent hate speech. And training of field activists, so activists that are out in the community, how they can really engage with wider society, how they can effectively get their message across to people. We were thinking about creating a map of hate online so that we can see in national context the different kinds of hate speech and hate crimes that happen, and also a pan-European context so we can compare and contrast. We want to engage with everyone who's involved in hate speech. So the perpetrators, the targets of hate speech, the witnesses of hate speech, from the politician to the child. This is an open debate that we need to address. We don't want to stigmatise people, criminalise people. This is a societal problem that we need to address together. We need to work with NGOs, politicians, everyone. We need a cooperative exchange of information and resources. This is opposed to competitive tribal approaches of isolated movements. We need a unity to work together. Clear communication channels to link a national campaign to the European campaign. We need a combination of new and old media. So predominantly online activism is accessing youth. We need to work with radio, printed publications to get different messages across in different ways. All campaigns, we agreed, should put targets of hate speech at the forefront, creating online a platform for a living library of their experiences. If we understand what hate speech feels like to the individual, then we can combat this. It's holding a mirror up to society. Understanding the prejudice that we might have is not them and us, it's all of us together and learning together. We need the political recognition from governments. We need their support in order to propel a local campaign to a national campaign and for it to have significance in society.
The forthcoming Councils of Europe Youth Campaign on Tackling Hate Speech was also presented at the conference. Shannon Stephens, who works on the project, shared their plans.
The idea is to be an online campaign for young people combating hate speech and the expression of hate speech online. It was conceived by young people involved in the Council of Europe and will be a Europe-wide campaign throughout 47 countries in Europe, as well as having national elements in hopefully all of those countries. The main idea behind the campaign is really to raise awareness of these issues, to educate young people, and to stand up and say, we don't like this. The main target audience, therefore, is the kind of mainstream of young people who maybe aren't already thinking of these issues, aren't thinking about human rights.
This is a serious long-term investment in combating hate speech in Europe. It's not just investing in youth and helping us out, helping us be a part of society. This is serious, and this is the way to change. Governments need to make youth a priority and progression. We need advice, but we also need the opportunity. We want to engage with politicians and policymakers, and we need their help, we need their recognition in order for us to do this. Everyone's rights when it comes to hate speech are at stake. We need to be collective. Our objective is social responsibility, awareness, empowerment, enabling critical thinking in our society. For us, silence is complicity, and we are not silent. Solidarity goes beyond mere support, it is action, and we want to act, but we want to act with everyone in society.